There's a code in prison, and then there's those who piss on it every chance they get. Behind the gates in federal prison, there's a different kind of predator. They call him the gunner. And when those words spread down the tier, "Bad gunner on the range!" everyone knows what time it is. He's at the door, pants around his ankles, eyes locked on the female staff walking by. CEO, caseworker, psych nurse, it doesn't matter. He's pulling out his meat and talking filthy through the crack of the door, whispering things like, "She's an eater, dog," with a sick grin, daring someone to stop him. Staff report it, cameras catch it, but more often than not, the gunner's right back at his door the very next day. Because in the feds, discipline doesn't always stick, and some of these sickos really just don't give a fuck. In this episode, we're pulling back the curtain on the darkest corners in federal prison, from how gunners target their victims to the chaos they cause behind the scenes. Even the gang members, the killers and lifers, look down on them. Because in prison, there's violence, there's evil, and then there's the gunner.
You won't let them have a woman. They gonna have each of somebody's gonna have to give us some booty. And just that simple.
What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV Unleashed. If you're tuning in for the first time, on this channel, I talk about prison, jail, crime, corruption, everything. So if you like that type of content, hit that subscribe button. All right, man, for the people that don't know who you are, man, why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself, tell them your name and where you're from.
My name's Freddie. I'm from Rhode Island.
All right. And you did 13 years, right, in the feds for the people just tuning in?
Yep, 13.
We were talking earlier, and we were talking about gunners in the feds. In state prison, man, like rarely do you see a white boy, and if like you do see that, usually a bunch of other white boys are going to get on him about that. How is it in the feds with that?
Well, usually if it's a white guy doing that, he's either going to get smashed or he's not on white time. He's usually on South time or DC time, which is very rare for a white guy to be on DC time. But white people don't do that shit because you're going to get smashed, period.
If you're in a dorm and like there's a DC black doing that, like, so is that allowed, or like how do you move around that?
Well, so they don't trip on each other for doing that shit, you know, like, so there's like a underground society basically, so to speak, with them, you know what I mean? Like, so some people don't respect it, period. I don't care what color you are, but you know, honestly, a lot of the blacks respect it, like not respect it, but don't care about it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Especially when you're in seg or shoe, whatever you want to call it, whatever, you know, they'll know when the girls are coming on the tier, you know, she'll be walking this way and they'll start talking to her, and the dude on this side of the tier is in his window getting her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, that's how they do it, you know, with their cellies in the cell.
That's crazy. That's the same how it is when I was in confinement in state, man. They literally get on the vents and they know before the lady's coming, because she usually comes, like, I think it was the chaplain lady. They would come Sunday and pass a thing under your door, and they'd be up at like 6 a.m. I got her, dog. No, she's mine. They like argue and like fantasize in their head.
They'll say this bitch is eating.
Yeah,
so that means, you know, she likes it or whatever.
Oh, no, that's
but, you know, I mean, there is probably females that do like it, you know? I don't know.
Did you see any inmates in relationships with, like, in federal prison with prison guards?
It'll happen, like, you'll find out after it happens, because, you know, in there, bro, people hate, though. You know what I'm saying? If there is a somebody that's, you know, talking to a girl or whatever, like, people are dropping kites in there. I don't care that we're in a pen, whatever. People are telling in there still, you know what I mean?
Like, when you're in a block in federal prison, is it common for people to have phones, like cell phones and shit, on the block?
I'll be honest, bro. Like, it depends what jail you're in. When I was in Mississippi, there was a few. Big Sandy, there was a few. Pollock. But, like, bro, like in Atwater, I was there 6 years. Phones were very discreet and hard to get there, bro. It's because there they do the training for, like, SIS, and, like, new cops and rookies come there. You know what I'm saying?
Training.
You know, yeah, they have training there. You know what I mean? But, nah, it's just different jails. You know what I'm saying, bro? In the South, yeah, like, you know, there's a lot more shit going on there because it's black cops there. Let's be real, you know? They don't care as much, you know?
Yeah, see, like in some prisons in Florida, man, you can't, if there's a phone in the dorm, someone will tell on it immediately because they're haters. Like, they're mad you're laid back on the phone and they got nobody to talk to.
Like, when you got something like that going on, you don't want to tell nobody, bro. Not even your homies. You want to keep that shit to yourself, bro. You know, you and your celly. You know, you got to think, bro, people are fucking haters, though. You know,
Did you get high?
Nah, I didn't get high when I was in there, bro. Well, I mean, bro, all there was deuce and shit. I don't smoke smoke douche, you know?
Like spicy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
not
that shit.
yeah,
That's like
yeah. Like, you
embalming
know,
fluid in Raid now, man.
well, back then when it first came out, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Fucking then weed, bro. Like I don't really smoke weed. So and then that shit was minuscule, you know what I'm saying?
So it
You know?
wasn't flooded in the feds with like dope and shit?
What with like heroin and shit?
You couldn't get any other like pills or Molly or anything like that?
Nah, bro. Like you gotta think people are getting shit that's worth the money in there, and that's K2, bro. And then, you know, Suboxone, obviously, right? You know what I'm saying?
So what would you say is the biggest money maker, man? Like for a dude that's going into federal prison, a white boy like our age, like between like 25 and 40, like what would be a good hustle?
running a ticket where that's like that's legal in there.
So they were twacking out on K2 in there?
Oh my God, every day, bro. Like that was a norm, you know, people going crazy. Like, you know, whether it's they're stripping butt naked or they're fucking, you know, just screaming or they're just walking up to somebody on the phone and taking off on them. So like it goes from one extreme to the next, you know?
Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, like if it's another race or something, you got to think it's just going to jump off because nobody knows what's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people owing bills in there, bro. So like there's always somebody owing somebody, dog. And like a lot of people, their word shit, bro. Like you know, giving credit's dead in there. You can't, nobody's word's good anymore, you know?
That's sad, dude.
Especially in the white collar, you know?
Is it bad too in the white
Yep.
car like that?
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. There's a lot of them. Like, you know, but here's the thing, bro. Like, you know, with the white dudes, man, you have an episode in the middle of the pod, bro, you're getting smashed. Like you get us all in trouble and get everybody in jammed up and shit like that, you're gonna get smashed, bro. Once we open back up or whatever, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get beat up. You know, it got to that point, you know, because it was getting crazy.
What was the worst smashing you saw?
Man, I seen literally so many smashings, bro. But like what you're talking about, feet, locks, knives, you know, it's just I was on
Talking
lockdown.
about like you've seen those fights before where a dude just gets fucking leveled and you're like, damn, he gets hit so hard you feel bad for him, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about that kind of shit.
We were on lockdown in Hazleton. Hazleton's fucked up, bro. Like, you
I've
know what
heard.
I'm saying? I had like maybe a month left and they started like doing the short staff shit and we weren't coming out till 9, 10 in the morning if they even let us out. Just bullshit. So I used to work out before the doors would crack and I'm in there working out still and they come to my door. Yo, you better shower. They got one of the DC dudes down there. They got him tied up in there. They got him hog tied, literally. They had stabbed him and they were dumping milk and magnesia down his throat. So trying to get the pack from him. He had been going to visit and getting bud and wasn't breaking them off, you know? They had him in there like that from like when the doors opened at 9 or 9:30, bro, till count time at 3 when they were locking us down. He came running out of there in boxes, no shirt, nothing, with one like a sheet around his hand hanging off, you know, bleeding where he was hit, you know. They had literally dumped milk and magnesia down him, stabbed him, beat him up, you know, but like, so he was tied up like that all day in there. When they called count, lockdown, they let him out of there. And bro, they didn't even go to seg for that shit, bro. They just, I'm telling you, it's, like, I never believed it till I got there. You know, you could literally put hands on somebody there and not go to the shoe as long as you do it in the cell, because shoe is always full there, bro. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Nobody got locked up. So they did upper body checks, blase, and that was it. I had been down, that was at the end of my bid, bro, and I was like, damn. Then we were on lockdown at Hazleton, and they had ran showers, and a blood and a crip was living together, and because you know they, you know, in the feds, they're in a car, you know, the Bloods and the Crips, you know,
really,
yeah, bro, they sit
but the
TV.
Bloods fall under the 5, and the Crips don't they fall under the 6?
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, they.
Oh, no, I believe you. That's just
no, I was like,
that's
damn,
crazy.
you know?
I've never heard that. I've heard Kings and Bloods tying flags, but I've never heard the other. Yeah, that's
well,
wild.
they're just basically, you know, they have a TV, you know, they would let them sit there to watch the TV, you know what I'm saying? They were housed together, you know, like, you know, it's okay to house together, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So anybody that's been to the feds is watching this knows that I'm not bullshitting. So all the people that's about to talk shit and say that it's not true, they ain't been through it. You know, they don't know what they're talking about, for real, straight up.
Yeah.
So anyways, they have been running showers. You don't have to go to the shower. So when your cellie goes to the shower, you got to cuff up, boom, he leaves, they uncuff you, can stay in your cell. Because you got to think, bro, we're on lockdown forever. You know what I'm saying? So like I work out every day. So I'm bird bathing every day because I'm working out.
Me too.
You know, so
That's
some
what
people don't
do.
some people don't go to the shower every day, you know, whatever. Well, anyways, dude went to this, they had been beefing in the cell, like arguing. Dude goes to the shower. When he comes back, you know, his cellie uncuffs first. As soon as he uncuffs, he just starts butchering his cellie in cuffs, bro. The cops didn't even come in the cell to help him, bro. They had him like still in the cuffs like this. And dude was, listen, man, I'm telling you, bro, that was one of the worst things like that I had seen since, because you know, my cell was right there, bro. I was sleeping. And I'm like, damn, my celly's like, yo, bro, you hear that? That shit was going on for, like, literally, like, I'm not even bullshitting. That shit, like, for a while, bro. The cops were coming in, stopped. They were spraying. He still wasn't stopping. He, like, he butchered this dude. When we came out, bro, there was blood all, because, they had trying to charge him. So, that was a crime scene. Yeah, bro. It was, the blood was like this big. Yeah, bro. And the cops literally didn't come in to help him, bro. When he came out of there, they had him in a green, like, stretcher thing, like the thing to carry him, bro. He looked dead, bro. He had lost the eye and everything. His name's War from Virginia, bro. He got butchered.
Was everybody tripping on the block? Like, yo, what the fuck y'all doing? Like, no one was going.
You don't know, because if you can't see that way, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just hear it, and then everybody realized that once they're running in there, like, stop, boop, boop, boop. You know what I'm saying? Drop the weapons. And man, he got fucked up, bro. He was in cuffs, dog. Like, they don't come in and help you, bro. They can't come in the cell when shit like that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, the feds is different, man. Like, I'm telling you, that's a whole nother world, bro. This ain't, like, I'm not even joking, bro. It's a different world, man.
It sounds crazy as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Florida was crazy, but
well, I heard, like in Florida, I know, like, I heard, like, I had a lot of homies that was from Florida, because the white dudes, like, I'm from up here, but I got along better with the South dudes, the white boys from the South. Like, for some reason, that's who I was always close with, even though I'm from, I ran with Boston dudes, like New England's all, together, but I was always closest to the dudes in the South for some reason.
How does it work in the feds as far as, like, the officers, if they're beating an inmate in the dorm, will other inmates rise up, or is it just like, no, that ain't our race, we ain't got nothing to do with that?
I never really seen the cops just beat the shit out of anybody, if that makes sense. I've seen them slam dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, just, give me that. And they try to take off or whatever, and then they just slam them. They already hit the deuces, so there's already mad cops in there. You know what I mean? Like, when the dude killed the cop down Canaan, I was there.
Check this out. In Florida at 5:30 in the morning, there was work call at the rear gate. I saw an officer get lippy with this inmate. They're lippy, right? He goes, turn around and cuff up. He knew he was going to confinement, so he turned around and cuffed up. He didn't want to get like a refusal charge, because that's even more. And then he turns around and cuffs up. Once the officer clicks the cuffs, he takes the dude's arms and lifts him up and breaks both of his arms. That was at 5:30 work call, bro.
Yeah, that's
it's more the officers you got to worry about than it is the inmates. But it sounds like in federal prison, it's more of the inmates that you got to worry about.
Well, yes, that's what I was gonna say. So, like me, you had your knife, whatever. It's for your own people, bro. You got to protect yourself from the white community, bro. Like, I know we're together and like whatever, right? Like, but bro, it's always your own people politicking on you. It's a popularity contest. You know what I'm saying?
Man. I don't.
Yeah. So bro, like, so if you ain't winning the popularity contest, bro, like, bro, it's like,
how do you do that?
You got to be the one, like, obviously just
money.
I mean, you could have money, or you could be the one that's getting whether your homie that has the pack and he's looking out for you, but like, you just honestly, bro, just when you get on, like me, when I would get to a new yard, I put my hand up right away, get my work out the way, so that way 6 months down the road ain't nobody coming to say, hey, you're up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially at the beginning of my bid, bro. Like, I was whatever. You know what I mean? Because
that's how I would be. Because then you can lay down and you can kind of get in a routine when you don't know when your day's coming. That's a motherfucker.
And I'm not gonna be one of them dudes that's everybody's looking at like I ain't put in work and I ain't did this or whatever. So you get paranoid, bro, because you never know. Like, all the white dudes are in the cell, you're not in there. You're like, damn, what the hell is really going on? What am I getting politicked on or whatever? You could not have no bills or whatever, but it don't even matter, So
why do you think people politic on their own people?
Man, nothing to do, bro. Boredom. If that makes any sense, bro. You got to think it's 120 guys in a pod, bro. That's like its own world. Then there's another, the next pod, that's another world, then it's just, he went to the office and he didn't have nobody with him. And, but it's just anything, bro, especially if they don't like you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Especially, it's just like, man, you got more than the next person or whatever. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on like that,
Have you ever stabbed somebody in prison and felt bad about it afterwards?
You had one of my write-ups and that I had sent you. It was in like 2016. I was down Yazoo City in Mississippi, and it was a new yard. It was crazy.
That sounds crazy. Yazoo City.
Yeah, everybody's like, you're trying to get your TV, your table, you're trying to just get everything in order in every pod, and it was only 3 units open. But anyways, so I had got into it. Me and this dirty white boy didn't like each other really, bro. And the unit was kind of separated, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it was us and then it was them. Like, I'm not talking about dirty white boy. I'm just talking about, the white boys were split in two.
Why would that happen? Why would y'all split?
Because we weren't really getting along, but we had different viewpoints on politics. It was a
Okay.
new yard. Nobody really had the yard. It was kind of just like, you know, people coming from FCIs. They never been to a
Chaos.
pen. Yep. Then you had dudes like me. I had been down for a little bit. Like, you know, it was just crazy. You know what I'm saying over there? So needless to say, I had got into it with a couple of dudes with like them, whatever. They told my homies to hit me. My homies said, oh yeah, whatever. Then they came and told me. As soon as the doors opened from count, we went and hit them. Right. So, you know what I mean? For real. So, you know, got into it with two of them. I'm stabbing. They stabbed me a couple times, whatever, you know. So my boy got hit with a lock. I don't know. It just was crazy, you know. I go to say, you know, they lock us up. The cops let these other dudes in the pod go on my cell to pack my cell. They end up stealing like 1,000 books. Listen, they stole 1,000 books of stamps out my house. So my boy, he ended up, when the dude came out of seg that like orchestrated everything, he stabbed him 27 times, you know. I stabbed dude like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times, whatever it was, you know. Like in the write-up, it just says they was fighting, but they took a 9.5-inch knife off me. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't drop the knife. You know, it's just like shit like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then they don't even really write you up like that. Like, you know, they just take your commissary for shit like that, you know, or whatever, and then ship you out or let you back out, whatever, man. It's like, you know,
so
that,
after
you know,
that fight happened, you got cuffed up and went to confinement. How long did you do?
I did like 4 months or whatever, and then I got shipped to Atwater, California.
And when you're in confinement for the 4 months, are you getting commissary?
Nah, I think they let us back then get us a candy bar every commissary or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when we could buy
nice of them.
yeah,
One fucking
like one
candy bar?
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah, nah.
one candy bar. So you were starving.
Yeah, bro. And then like when we was over there, bro, that was like I was saying, it was a new jail. So, you know, they had the whole complex in that shoe. So one run would be the pen, one was the medium, one was the low, one was the camp. And, you know, everybody's bucking when the trays ain't right. So they would load up the trays with rice and beans every meal. They would give us what we're supposed to have, them rice and beans. You know what I'm saying? That shoe wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they would let you keep your light off sometimes if you didn't want it on. Like, I don't know. That shoe wasn't too bad. You know what I mean?
When you were in GP or whatever, what's your like program look like?
So
Like,
I woke up.
car player, do you work out all the time? Like what's your
I worked out. I had the ticket. I was like one of them people. I was into the sports. I was into the ticket. Every yard I went to, I was involved in the ticket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're glued to ESPN and the radio and everything. Yeah.
Yep. All night I'm chasing scores. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm running somebody else's ticket or I have my own ticket or whatever the case is, you know, I'm gambling. And, you know, that's what, like on the ticket, you know, and that was like how I did my bid, you know.
So what happens when no football? What do you gamble on then?
Baseball, basketball.
You're one of them. Anything, girls volleyball,
sport.
like everything.
So
you know what I
baseball-
mean? There's some dudes that bet on horsing, NASCAR, football, like everything. Anything on ESPN, they're betting on.
In the feds, it's like WNBA. When there's no football, it'll go football. Then it'll be like it'll switch right from football and basketball to baseball. You know what I mean? And then it'll be like after baseball, it'll be during that it'll be WNBA in the summer. Then, you know, so on the ticket you'll see everything, hockey a little bit. But people really don't play that really, you know, like just a little bit, you know what I mean? Yeah. When football comes, it's crazy. It's like, you know, you're taking 1,000, 2,000 books a weekend and shit. I mean, on a Sunday, maybe 1,000 on Saturday, you know what I mean?
Bro, the last time I was locked up, I'm gonna paint you a picture of this dorm, man. It was like a Sunday at 2:00 and ESPN was on and it was girls softball was on. There was about 6 people at the TV. It was 3 black dudes standing up in front of the TV and 2 were in the showers. There were single showers. There was an open a cell block, and they're gunning the softball chicks on ESPN from the shower, and the other dudes are out there, and they're like, "Oh, she's an eater, dog," and like they're talking about the fucking college girls on ESPN.
Yeah. Bro, I mean, honestly, bro, I mean, when the dorms open like that, like you don't really see too many people doing it. They do, bro. Like I'm not gonna say they don't. They do though. Like it mostly happens in seg, but it happens in child. Like you're like, what the fuck happened? Yeah, he was down in the child line. He had his hand jerking off down in medical. But now, like when they were coming out of shoe, they were putting him in a one-piece jumper that was yellow. So everybody knew they was a gun, or they had a red ID and had to check in every hour. You know what I'm saying? But bro, some of their homies don't go for that, dog. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people from Texas and Florida and DC. But you know, you got some good homies, like dudes from DC, good dudes from everywhere.
Bro, Florida, it's everywhere, man. It'll happen in the middle of the dorm. I've seen it dude, at the water fountain one in the open bay dorm, gunning the officer in the officer station, like wide open, man. It's crazy. And and most people are down with it, believe it or not.
Some people, like you might have a cell 102 by the office where the counselors come out and shit, or you can see right into the office. That's prime real estate for them. So like say a gunner has that cell.
Mad gunner on the
other
raid?
gunners. Yeah, well, no, bro, you have girls working in the pod, so they'll go to that cell and they'll sit there with the door cracked and jerk off, beat off,
Yeah.
that like, but they, like, so you'll know who's gunners because they'll be in that cell, bro. Like my boy lived in 102, they were in 103 doing that shit. We had to go to their people, like, yo, bro, we're not trying to, come out of our cell, bro. He's sitting there with the door cracked, whacking off to the bitch. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's some creep shit, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like
it is, bro. It's like, I'm not gonna say the R word, but yeah, that's what it is.
it's either like you guys get rid of him or next time we see it, bro, we're smashing him right there. You know what I mean? Like because he's another race, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like, so we went to his people and told him like, yo, bro, check it out, dog. Like we're coming out of the homie cell, bro, and he's there just beating his dick to these bitches. Excuse my language, whatever, right? So either you get rid of him, or we're gonna have to take care of it. You know what I mean? So it's like that,
Yeah.
Because in there, bro, it's like there's a lot of politicking, dog. There's a lot of hiding behind cars and a lot of that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like when shit goes up, it goes up, though. So
after doing the 13 years, man, and getting out, what would you say are like some of the things that prison has affected you now that you're noticing being free?
So like I do a lot of isolating, bro. You know what I mean? Like where I don't want to be around but like I'll go to work, bro. I'll come home, I'll mow my grass, I'll do shit, and then I just don't want to talk to nobody, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like there might be like for real, not even my family, nothing, bro. Like I don't want to answer the phone. I just like literally, bro, wake up, go to work, come home, do shit, take a shower, and go to bed, bro, and then do it again like I'm in jail, like the same repetitive thing. You know what I'm saying? Like and honestly, bro, it's like since I've been home, it's like I have to remember not everybody lives by them same rules. I have to remember I'm not in jail no more. Not everything is like that. And I always try to like at work, I have to remember like, some people you have to give them a pass when they say something crazy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, what you say to me, bro, are you out of your fucking mind, kid? Like mad paranoia, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm always thinking the worst in people, you know what I mean? I don't trust nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll trust, don't get it wrong, my dad, bro, like he's always been there for me. My aunt, my grandma, like, like they, so like I trust them, but like, like outside of that, it's like hard, you know what I mean? Like
Does
it's
your
really
family
hard.
all like know everything of your story?
Yeah, like man, they're the ones when I was locked up, bro. I'm calling from SEG every time, or I'm or locked down because this happened, or I got caught with a knife and I'm in the shoe again, or this or that. Yeah, they know everything. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I never lied to them. I told them when I went in, it's like, hey, everything I do is to make it home safe because I was in a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you had to put in work. When I got there, bro, it's like they told you, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck? It's a shock, dog. But it's like, fuck it, let's go. You know what I mean? And it's like I went through some shit in there, you know what I mean? So
during your whole time, what was the like one inmate you can remember that you came across that was just like one bad motherfucker?
it was a white dude. It was my boy Lucky. He was my cellie for like 5 years. And he turned out to be my best friend, bro. Like like still to this, like right now, he's like my best friend, He's from Oklahoma. He's Irish mob.
He's still
he's
in?
a bad Yeah, he got 30 he was in jail selling drugs in jail with a phone, and they came and raided his cell like he was in the street. Yeah, I mean, he had a phone and he was in like one of their lockdown jails out there, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, they grabbed him and all his homies up and shit like that. Like, so he was a bad motherfucker, dog. That was
what makes you say that? Like you saw him put work in or what?
Yeah, I seen him put work. He didn't give a fuck, you know what I mean? And I know what he was about because we was in the cell, hitting mids, and I knew. And like but the way he carried himself, you would never know. Like everybody liked him. He was mad humble, you know what I mean? But he was gonna fuck you up, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't the biggest, but he was skinny, ripped up, you know what I'm trying to say? Like he was one of them, but he wouldn't break your shit, So I mean, I met a lot of bad motherfuckers, but before I went to jail, I thought I was the baddest, right? Like because I was young and stupid, whatever. Right then, I realized, bro, I'm nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes is real grown men, motherfucking beat the shit out of you type shit,
Did you ever have a point during your bid where you thought shit was gonna go sideways for you and you were like,
oh yeah, not scared? Like, bro, I've been in some fucked up situations. I did 13 years. I was in the mix the whole time. Politics, everything, bro. Selling, doing, hustling, everything. Like when I say I was in the mix of everything in there. right? So yes, I had been in some crazy situations, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, you know, like, no, bro, like thinking I'm gonna get hit or whatever, and like I'm not going nowhere. Like they gotta hit me, and that's real shit. Like you check in, bro, you can never walk again, bro. You know what I'm saying? So they try, they get found out and smashed, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, bro, that, but it's your own paranoia because you know where after see and been through what I like, what goes on in there, bro. A lot of people, bro, get rocked to sleep, dog. They're in their cell thinking everything's good, and then the two dudes running there smashing them, and you know you might not walk out of there, dog. And you know, yeah, bro, and they don't stop till the cops come, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when it's in the cell, you're gonna keep on somebody that they think's a threat, bro. They're really gonna smash you.
Now that you're out and free and you meet people for the first time now that don't know you about your past, do you tell those people about your past?
Yeah, I do, bro. And they did, because like I have friends and shit that like know me just from now, like that I work with, that I got close with, and they like, bro, like you're totally like they don't know like me from before, so it's kind of hard to understand. But like I don't know. Yes,
Even
I do.
chicks, like chicks, when you go on dates and shit, you
Yeah,
tell them?
I tell whoever, bro. You know what I'm saying? I tell anybody. Like, yes, I make that because, like, I don't know how to use a phone. I don't know how to do this. I'll be on
Yeah,
the
you
phone
got,
for
yeah, that
customer
does seem a little
service
weird.
people, and I'm like, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I just did 12, 13 years. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Hey, I appreciate everybody that's been tuning in. We're definitely going to bring them back on and do some other parts. But if you're not, man, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button and drop a comment. And with that, this is DOC TV Unleashed, and we're out.